Web3, Web3, Web3. You probably hear the term Web3 all the time, especially in the crypto space, but maybe you don't know exactly what Web 1 or Web 2 are, what they brought to the technology, and the major differences between them. And that's what we're going to be covering today. And we're going to break this down in a very easy way for beginners as well. So make sure to stick to the end, and if you find anything in this video useful or helpful, make sure to throw a like on this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're not already in our Discord group, go join now. So before we actually understand what Web3 is, let's dive into what Web 1 was. Now this was the first stage of the World Wide Web. At this point in time, there were only a few content creators, pretty much like mass media, and the majority of people were just consumers of the content. Now, a lot of people didn't know during Web 1 that advertisements were banned while you were surfing the web. Who still uses the term surfing the web anymore? Now, basically what Web 1.0 was a content delivery system that was able to showcase specific pieces of information on websites. Now, when you're talking about Web 1, 2, and 3, everything is being built on trust systems. So with Web 1, there was zero trust. So anytime you wanted to log into a website, let's say go to AOL or AIM for anyone that was part of that realm, you had to type in your username and password every single time to log in. That's because there's no trusted middleman. So with that, it's up to you to require and put in that. So it's entirely up to you to keep that vital information and post it to the website every time to confirm that it is you. Now, Web 2.0 really signifies user-generated content. Web 2.0 is going to be referred to as the worldwide websites, which was way more focused on user-generated content, usability, interoperability, and much more. It was also called the participative social web. Now, an easy way to explain Web 2.0 would be something like Facebook, where you can go in with a username and edit the information that you can showcase to the rest of the world, even before Facebook was MySpace. And really, Web 2.0 was the creation of Ajax, HTML, JavaScript, and a lot of those other coding sources that would allow everyday people like you and me to get onto any website and be able to relay whatever information we want. Now, this was a huge transition because it went from just a small source of content creators to everyone in the world, or whoever had access to a computer was able to create their own content. And with that, the trust system is starting to evolve. One of the key factors with Web 2 that you might have noticed when you're logging into certain things is that you'll notice it says sign in with Google, sign in with Facebook, sign in with Amazon. And when you click those, it goes to those trusted sources and it takes that information from those websites. That's because Web 2 has an extra layer of trust that Web 1 did not have. So because Amazon and Google and these other reputable companies have confirmed that the information that they're giving to these websites is true and accurate, you don't need to be putting in your information every time. Quite frankly, most people use the sign in with Google or sign in with Facebook option just because it's easier than typing in your username and password every time, and now I don't have to give that information to that website without verifying that it is my information. So essentially, my information can be stored on Google without going to this other website, instead of me having to type in that information directly and them having it on their website in case they get hacked. Some major features of Web 2.0 would be the free sorting of information, dynamic content that is very responsive to the user, the informational flow is a little bit more flowy, the information flow is more responsive, developed APIs were allowing self-usage, and was really able to open the realm of the people that were using the internet. There weren't that many people using Web 1, but there are a lot more people using Web 2, and there's going to be even more people using Web 3. And the last part that we're going to talk about with Web 2.0 is going to be the social 2.0 web. Now, this is the online tools or social media where you can share perspectives, opinions, thoughts, concerns. Now, these are going to be your social media sites where you can share, post, do everything like that. The Web 2 applications tend to interact much more with the user on the back end. And as such, the user at the end is not only a user of the application, but a participant. And the things that they would be participating in would be like blogging, podcasting, curating, social bookmarking, sharing, all of those things. And finally, Web 3, which is what we're currently building and going into now, is the evolution of web utilization and interaction, which also includes altering the web into a database. Basically, what they're doing is upscaling the back end since we've been so focused on the front end with Web 2. So now we're just building the back end to keep up and adding a couple more trust layers and things like that to make the web just flow even easier. Now, when we go back to our other examples of being able to log in, you have Web 1 where you got to put in your username. You have Web 2 where you can use your social sign-in. Now with Web 3, you're going to be able to use signatures. So think about when you're on a website that requires an age limit. So let's say you have to be 21 to enter the website, and it asks you for your date of birth. Theoretically, if you wanted to, you could put any birth date. It doesn't matter. There's going to be no way for them to verify, and as long as you put the birth date, it will let you into the website. Now what Web3 is going to allow these companies to do in these layers is that you're going to be able to verify on your end that you are over 21, And then instead of typing in your birthday, you're going to go to the website and click connect. They're going to connect to your wallet, for example, or whatever source it is that has that information to verify that you are 21. And that's going to be a trusted and credible source so that the website knows that any information they get from there will be valid. Therefore, they'll be able to truly verify what your birthday is because you've been verified, let's say, through a KYC verification, because everyone in crypto, or most people in crypto, do know what KYC is when you're using your information, your driver's license, your passport, and verifying your identity on the blockchain with a social security number, for example, so that you don't have to continuously do this throughout the process, because it can be very tedious and annoying if you have to do that in every single step. And also notice how in a lot of places, instead of passwords, they use seed phrases, because the seed phrase isn't directly connected and you never type it in like you would a password. Therefore, it's not going to be infringed information unless you put it somewhere that's unsafe and gets hacked. With Web3, it's the idea that data isn't owned, but it's shared. Now you have 5 major features that can help you define what Web3 is. You have the semantic web, which is looking to establish the world's information in a more reasonable way than Google has been obtaining data. Then you have artificial intelligence, which, combining the capability of natural processing, computers can then distinguish information like humans in order to provide faster and more relevant search results. And as they're used, they become more intelligent to fulfill the current needs and the needs moving forward of the people using these softwares and systems. You have 3 things like museum guides, computer games, e-commerce, geospatial context, and more are all available in 3D worlds. You have connectivity, so because information is more connected thanks to metadata, user experience then evolves to another level of connectivity that leverages all information available. This is also thanks to the security that's being added and all these other credible and trustworthy sources. And finally, there's ubiquity, which means that content is accessible, every device is connected to the web, and the services can be used everywhere. I'm going to leave this graphic here as well. Feel free to pause the video, take a screenshot, and save this so you can see and notice the difference between Web 1, 2, and 3. And this is going to wrap up the video as well. If you didn't get a chance to before, make sure to throw a like on this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hopefully you're having a great morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on wherever you're watching this in the world. If you didn't join our Discord group, please make sure to go do that now. It would be greatly appreciated. And we'll catch you on the next one.